Hi fellow traders, I'm coming back today with another installment in the how to really grow a small trading account. And today we're going to talk about taking the time out. And ironically, that's exactly what I'm doing right now, what I did today. And so we're going to kind of talk a little bit more about that today. But before we get to that, I want to share something with you that I'm going to be doing. I've gotten request after request after request. I take every comment, every suggestion, and I put it in a file, and I go through it and I see how well I can implement it. So this, I feel, is a perfect time because I'm going through trader rehab. I'm putting myself through trader rehab. And the reason why I'm doing this is because over the last couple months, I've been doing some things that I really shouldn't be doing, but because I have some skill, I'm able to mask it. I'm able to cover the problem and come out on top. And that's not the right way, because eventually it catches you. And yesterday it caught me, doing stupid stuff or doing things that I know I shouldn't do, but I wasn't able to fix it yesterday. And so, sitting down last night thinking, I'm like, I need to go back to the beginning, because I have systematically kind of broken down and started sidestepping some of the processes that I have in place. And whenever you do that, you have to have a foundation to go back to. Every trader does it. Every trader has it. And they'll tell you, look, if I lose all my money tomorrow, I can start over with, X amount of dollars. And I'm confident that I could build it back up because I have a foundation. I have something I could go back to. And that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to have, I'm trying to make it to where everybody that's trading with a small account can just grow along with me, can follow along with me. And, that's the request I've been getting over and over and over again. And I felt this is the perfect time to do it. Going into the fourth quarter, and starting with $1,500, and we're going to run it to the end of the year to see where we're at. And at the beginning of this year, I started with $1,500, and starting this chat room and starting this community, it was a lot tougher. I knew it was going to be tough, but it was a lot tougher on my trading than I thought it was going to be. So I didn't get to really grow and make the money in the small account that I was anticipating. It was a little bit, it was a little bit challenging. And so I started with $1,500 in January. I'm up to 38 grand. It's all verified in my Profitly. If you have my Profitly information, you can go on my website, and it's right there on my blog. It's right there. You just click on it and it'll take you to it. And every trade is verified. Every win, every loss, it's all there. And so starting with $1,500 and being at 38 grand in 3 quarters, I don't think it's bad. I expected more. I expected to be around 50 plus now. But the reality is the market wasn't there. And, it didn't get there. And then I started, slipping and doing some things that I really shouldn't be doing. So the focus in chat is going to be on education and demonstrating the skill building techniques that you need to employ for account growth. It's a skill. And you have to focus on developing that skill. When you develop that skill, then the money is going to follow. because this will become automatic to you. And then you'll be building a foundation that you can always come back to. You know, and this program is going to come with a quarter subscription to the chat room. You know, I don't have quarterly subscriptions, but this is a 3-month, 3-month long program that you're going to follow every step I take. And if the access, when you sign up for it, you're going to get immediate access to the chat room, which means the sooner you sign up, you'll get the rest of this month for free. So that's kind of an incentive to sign up as fast as you can. The sooner you sign up, the more free days you get. So I will start doing daily midday recaps. You know, I didn't do them in chat, but that's something that I'm going to start. I got the request from people in the chat room, and they want to know more. Some people missed the morning and they want me to recap my trades, because I don't always have time to do a video at night. I do my mentoring sessions at night. I do the classes after the market's over. And then, I've got family. I've got things to do with my son and my wife. So I don't always get to do a recap video. So the morning, the focus is going to be pre-market and the morning session. And then we're going to do a recap. Also, you're going to get the Day Traders Mindset Workshop. You're going to get that for free. When I have the next workshop in October, you're going to be part of it. So you're going to get all of that. So I want to make sure that you guys that want to grow your account, that's serious about getting to that next level, is going to have every opportunity to get there. And it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. Okay, it's $149 for the quarter. So yeah, it's cheaper than buying it monthly for 3 months, but you look at what you're going to get. I'm dead serious about trying to help everybody. I mean, it hurts when I get emails when people say they blew up their account, or they just keep losing, they can't figure out why. I want to help as much as I can. And maybe through this you'll see you may need mentoring. It may be something that's going to help you get to the next level. But one thing I know for sure is that every successful person that's done any type interview, the one thing that they said, the one thing that all of them have in common is that they had a mentor and they had a model of success. Not just somebody talking about how successful they are, but somebody modeling the success that they're trying to get to. And that's what I'm trying to do. That's the reason why I started this community. And I might not have been perfect. There may be some things that I didn't do as well as I should have, but I'm at the point now where I'm comfortable, I'm settled, and I want to make sure that I give everybody what they need and make sure that you're getting your money's worth, out of the community. So if you're interested in the small trading account education program, remember, it's just a quarter. It's going to be in chat. Everybody that's already in the chat room, you're going to get advantage. This is going to be to your advantage. But if you're not a part of the chat room, this is a way to get in at a discounted rate. Spend 3 months and see where you are. And I think you'll be surprised. So any questions on that, feel free to email me, ed@averagejoetrader.com. I'll be glad to fill you in on it. So if you want to join, just go to my website and go to the services page, and you'll see it right there, the AJT Small Account Education Program. All right, so today we're going to talk about taking a time out. Like I said, that's what I'm doing today. I'm taking a time out. And there are different ways, or the different times when a trader will take a time out. You've got the downtime between trades. You've got the downtime between when the market closes and the market opens. And then you've got the downtime when we have performance challenges, which is, what I'm doing. I'm not losing money. And, today I was just curious. I'm not sure. There may be a trade or so that I'm missing. I think there's one trade missing. But even when that hits, I'm still not going to be red this week. I may only make $100 this week, but I won't be red. I really thought after yesterday that I was going to be red this week. I really thought that. But it looks like I'm going to have either $100 or maybe just a less. Like right now it's $300, but I think there's a $200 loss somewhere, or maybe $150 or $130 loss from yesterday that didn't show up yet. It's saying that one trade couldn't download because it hasn't cleared yet or whatever. But when I look at it tomorrow, when I do the recap this weekend, I'll see where I'm at. But I got encouraged here a little while ago. I'm pretty stoked. But right now I decided to take a time out today because of my performance challenges. Like I said, I've been doing some things that I really shouldn't be doing. And because I develop decent skill, I'm able to master problems. And I'm able to work out of them. And that's not healthy. Especially when you have a market the way we have now. Where it could be choppy. And it really shows up on choppy days. Really shows up. Alright, so for me, day trading is, I looked at it like drag racing. They were both quick and intense. They both require incredible focus. And they both require some downtime between, the races or the trades to really tune back up and refocus. And, that's a picture of my car, my 70 Nova. That's the first race car I had. It kind of grew up with me. And, when I started relating things that happened in my life that I brought, as I developed and grew from racing, from engineering, from teaching, when I brought these to trading, I started to see the connections. I started to see the connections from things that I learned in racing, that I learned in life. Everything that I did, how it could affect me and help me or hurt me in my trading. And I just needed to identify those. So drag racing is one that, if you think of a drag racer, through practice and preparation, I developed a process to my racing. How I do a burnout, how I stage the car, how I drive the car, how I prepare it between rounds, the things that I do, at home before the race. I can't, through practice, I developed that. And that's the same thing I did in trading. The exact same thing. So we both had to be deeply prepared. And in both instances we had to have an established process so that I could be prepared for every race mentally, and I could be mentally prepared for every trade. And honestly, I took up golf back then because golf helped me to focus on the race. Because in golf you have to focus and you have to repeat, and you have to do that in racing, and then you kind of have to do that in trading. You want to continue. You want to repeat the things over and over again so that you're comfortable and you're focused. And even though the results may be different, how you approach it is going to be the same. You're going to be in the same frame of mind and the same mental state every time you approach a trade. So, in everything that I did in between the races, everything I did to prepare for the race impacted my performance on the track. So, it was only, fitting for me to connect that with everything that I do before a trade is going to affect me. And I don't know if you guys have realized that what you eat can affect you. And like if you load up on coffee, you may be sporadic, jittery. You may not be patient. You may be impatient. You can't wait for your trades to set up. If you eat a lot of sugar, a lot of carbohydrates and stuff that turns the sugar in your body and you get jacked up. You don't have the patience you need to be a day trader. So, everything that you do in between trades or during your downtime is going to really affect your performance. The same way if I ate something sweet and I went out there if I ate something sweet or drank a soda or something in between the race, the next time I go up, I want to be quicker on the starting line, and I'll probably red light and just qualify myself. And the same thing happens in trading. So these are things that we have to think about. And when we take a time out in between trades during the day, we have to make sure. It's just like when I go to lunch. I need to make sure I don't eat anything that's going to cause me to be erratic. And it's just one of those things that I kind of had learned the hard way. But think about what you do and how you react. It's just one of those things. I don't know why this clown is driving up and down, up and down, up and down the street on his motorcycle. It's driving me insane. But it's one of these things that you have to be aware of, and you have to be cognizant of. All right, so what you want to think about is, how do you prepare for your next trade? Do you have a set routine that you follow? Like a drag racer, after each race, I come back to the pits, I download my computer, I look at the tire slippage, I look at the torque converter slippage, I look at the exhaust temperature, the fuel pressure. I look at the run curve to see, if what the RPMs did at the shift points. I'm looking at all of these things, and I'm trying to make sure that everything is still at peak performance. But in trading, you can't really do that. But what you have to do is, once you finish, just kind of make some notes. Take some quick notes. Write down what's going on with the trade and what happened, and then move on to the next one. That's all you have to do. So, and then after the event, I go home and I study the runs, I study the graphs, I study all of this stuff to see if there's something I can do to help improve my performance. At night, after the trades, I go through my trades. I make sure that I don't miss anything, that I take my time and I go through the trades and I understand and I see what I did, what I didn't do, what did I do right, what did I do wrong. And we call that reflection. So the third video of this series will have the reflection part on it. It's kind of toward the end of that video. And it talks a lot about reflection and how important it is in your growth and development as a trader. So you want to ask yourself, do you have a routine that you follow at night? You know, if you don't, you need to get one. You know, you need something that you can use to reflect on your trades every night. All right, so when we take a performance timeout, it's because I've lost my competitive or performance edge. That means my car is slowing down, or I'm not driving well, and I need to stop and figure out what's wrong. Same rules apply to trading. You know, when I start doing things that I don't normally do, and they catch up to me on top of that, my confidence gets low. I have all these losing trades in a row. You know, I have to stop and take a look at what I'm doing. But the key is you need to be able to identify this before it really gets to be a problem. You know, I could have continued down this path until next thing I know, I've, went through the money I started with this month. And that's not ideal. So when I realized there was a problem, I can identify that I'm getting out of control. So I got to take a time out and I got to get the problem fixed. I got to identify the problem and got to get it fixed. So how can we do it? You know, how do we fix it? Number one, we have to be 100% honest with ourselves. If we can't be honest with ourselves, then we're wasting our time. You know, that's why I put a picture of that jackass on my video yesterday, because I was being a jackass and I had to be honest with myself. You're trading like a jackass, so that's what you're doing. And I had to look at my strategies. I see I'm just anticipating. Instead of waiting for it to set up, I'm looking at it saying, oh, this looks like the other trade that set up and worked, so I'm going to go ahead and take it. I saw that. I saw myself doing that when I went back and looked at the trades. All the trades that didn't work are the ones I anticipated and never waited for the setup. And the ones that worked that I missed set up. But because I was fooling around with something that wasn't working, I missed the one that set up. And it's just as simple as that. So my plan to address the challenges that I have is to go back to the basics. Let's go back to the beginning and start over again. You going back to trader rehab. Now that's all it is to it. You have to go back and you have to you got to make sure that you're putting all the pieces back in place and that you're addressing what's wrong. You got a plan to address these challenges. And once I did, that's when I'm going to start back trading. I identified them. I know what I did. I know what I need to do. So Monday, I'm going to start back. You know, we'll be back at it again. But, you know, sometimes you have to take a time out. You have to stop and gather yourselves back in, because not everybody can lose $15,000, $2,000, or $3,000 in a week and then turn around and put it back in the account. You know, not everybody can do that. You know, a lot of us, you know, like me, I started with nothing. I mean, I had a $1,500 bonus check. That's it. I didn't have any more money in the bank that I could put in. You know, so when I went through that money, I had to, okay, how can I save money? How can I find money from my budget to do this? And, you know, I did it. But it was hard. And I had to start with what I had. And, you know, but one thing I do want to point out is that, before I forget about it, is that you can't have a limiting mindset or a limiting, that limiting mindset. You know, even though we're trading small and smaller size, we still can't have that limiting mindset. We're trading small because we're learning. We're developing the skills. We're not doing this so that we can stay here and continue to trade this way. We're doing it to develop the skills so that as our account grows, we can grow with it. And so we can't have that limiting mindset. Just because we're trading smaller size doesn't mean we have a limited mindset. You know, we're still taking the risk. We're still, you know, learning how to trade. We're still learning how to lose right. You know, we're still going through all of that stuff. So it's not about having a limiting mindset. It's about, it's about development. You know, taking baby steps and developing. It's about crawling before you walk, and walking before you run. Because it's about establishing that foundation that when you get outside of yourself, you can always come back to and build yourself back up again. Now, that's what it's all about. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. Don't forget, if you're interested in the program that I'm going to do for this fourth quarter, you can sign up on my website, or you can email me. Be glad to talk you through it. And I'll be back probably tomorrow or Sunday with my weekly recap, so we can see just how bad I did this week and how much I need to correct going forward. So you guys have a great night, a great evening, and I will see you guys later on in the weekend.